According to the Merriam-Webster dictionary, the word childhood is described as the state or period of being a child. Seems pretty obvious, but the second definition is much more telling, saying that childhood is the early period in the development of something. This definition assists in understanding why we behave the way we do when we are in our youth. For my Unit 2 assignment, I chose to read The Kite Runner by Khaled Hosseini. At first I was a little bit hesitant because of the intense themes it deals with, but after reading it, I was open to a new perspective of childhood. My childhood was incredibly happy and pleasant. I had loving parents and a roof over my head. Although I knew not everyone was as lucky as me, I never really grasped the concept of an unhappy childhood because I never had to experience it. The Kite Runner focuses on a boy named Amir living a wealthy lifestyle in Kabul, Afghanistan. His best friend, Hassan, is a lower class than him, and the portion of the story where they are in their youth juxtaposes their relationship and their social classes. Even though Amir and Hassan grew up in Afghanistan before the Taliban and other disasters, that does not mean their childhood was any means pleasant. Throughout Amir's childhood, he wanted nothing but to impress his father Baba and make him proud. Baba's ideas of masculinity was not reciprocated in his son, as Amir enjoyed more stereotypical feminine things like riding and was not as aggressive and macho as Baba. Because of their differences and Baba's harsh nature, Amir spent his childhood feeling mostly unworthy. Throughout Hassan's childhood, he was ridiculed for his low status. His mother was known around the village as promiscuous, so soldiers made fun of him for it. The most disturbing and saddening part of Hassan's childhood was when he was raped by a higher-class teenage boy, and Amir, someone who was not supposed to be his best friend, did not help him in the time that he needed it the most. Both characters' childhoods were not considered to be times of innocence and wonder. They were much more disheartening, and subsequently they were forced to grow up faster than children in other countries with other lifestyles and societal norms. Hosseini chose to portray childhood as an unhappy time to emphasize the struggles of living in Afghanistan and to indirectly make the audience feel empathy towards Afghan people and the ones immigrating to build a better, more stable life. Most people reading The Kite Runner are from first world countries and have never experienced having to live in a third world country. For the most part, the main form of communicating about life in countries like Afghanistan is through the news. Although the news does provide helpful information, it is just facts about life, as the news is unable to really show what it's like to be a citizen. When writing a narrative from a first-person point of view, it is easier to elicit an emotional response within readers because they have become attached to the characters' stories and essentially live the characters' lives right beside them. Yes, seeing tragedies on TV does make viewers upset, but it also tends to get brushed off much more often than taking time to learn about someone and struggles with them. It is saddening to see such young children have to live in horrific conditions they do, and having the ability to give people a first-hand view from a new and unknown perspective assists in achieving Hosseini's purpose of creating exposure and empathy for all Afghans.